Not long ago, I had a chance to go before a class that was learning English as a second language. I sat down in the classroom. 40 young immigrants came into the room. 4 of them wouldn't even come in. They were so frightened of me. It was a reflexive, it was an emotional reaction. If that happens in the safe, comforting feeling of a classroom, you can imagine what that does to the relationships with the police on the street. During that session, a young woman from the Ukraine asked me, how do I safely identify a police officer at the door? After we talked through it briefly, I asked her, why did you ask that question? It's a given to me that if there's a police officer with a badge at your door, that's the police. You just answer the door. She said, right before I came to this country, my brother answered the door for the police, and I never saw him again.
Our view of the police from back home is one of fear. So when the immigrants come here, they really fear the police. They don't have the knowledge of what the policeman does.
We have to remember that a large portion of our immigrant community comes from countries that are repressive.
When we first opened Partnership Academy 7 years ago, there was about 25% of the students were Latino at that time. Now we're up to 90% Latino.
1 of every 5 children in Minnesota schools speak other languages than English.
Somalis in Minnesota are the largest Somali community in the United States.
You know, the new problem for the Vietnamese community is the trust, you know.
I believe the best way to build the trust between the police department and the Hmong community, or any community I should say, is to be able to go out to the community and let them know, simple and easy, hey, we're here to help you.
You come here, you want to live, you want to make a living, you will have a good life. That's the promise that we make. In order to do that, it is our responsibility to further understanding.
Immigration is here, and it's an issue that we have to deal with. And in America, we have a unique opportunity to deal proactively with it. Other areas of the world have not, and they have paid a fairly high cost for their unwillingness or inability to integrate immigrant groups into their culture. So the Joint Community Police Partnership has been created to address that. It consists of training for police officers. It consists of training for the multicultural community through a multicultural advisory committee. It also consists of embedding officers, which we call community liaisons, directly with the police, who then liaison with the community. And then we have training for both the community and police officers.
I guess what I've seen is when you do have someone from that same culture or someone who can speak that same language especially is such a barrier at times, that just the ability to speak the language can ease the tension.
I was able to come upon the City of Brooklyn Center's website, and I saw that they had a position open for a cadet and that it was sponsored under JCPP. At first I didn't know what it stood for, but now it's the Joint Community Police Partnership Program.
My position there is, I feel like I'm serving as the bridge, and there are someone that they could look at and see themselves also, someone that they could talk to without feeling like they are being corrupted or being afraid, you know.
Somebody who is from another culture, being a police officer with a background knowledge of his culture, his language, his expectations of his people, and then at the same time, this person knows what the American community expects. I mean, he is so learned of the regulations and the rules of this society. He will be a better person to reach out to his community because he knows both worlds.
I think it's very important. I mean, it's very important for cities of Richfield to have multicultural cadets because it's important to reflect the communities you police. It's important that that the perception of the police is that they care and they're part of the community.
All of them are going to affect hundreds of thousands of lives over the course of a career that could span 20 to 30 years. The amount of investment compared with the amount of return it's immeasurable.
We formed the Police Multicultural Advisory Committee, trying to get members of the diverse community we serve, brought them together and started to work with this to identify what are some of the things we can do as a police department to improve relations with the community, and what they can do as members of the community to improve relations with us.
As a community liaison, my job is to empower people in the community. Which really inspires me is to engage them and to empower them and to make use of the resources that is available to them as new people coming to this country. In the meantime, also to educate the police about the different cultures, about the different people who are coming to this country, and what are some of the things that they bring to this country, and to engage them in that conversation.
Somali people are, like many other African societies, are relationship oriented. It's very important to develop relationship, to maintain relationships. So personal relationship with the police will be important.
The JCCP programming has helped get not only myself but other officers the language skills they need to deal effectively with the context that we have every day.
We have several officers in the department now have since, through funding, through the grant, we've been able to put them through numerous levels of Spanish training. But because of budget restraints, never been able to really tackle the problem full on.
One of the ways that we were able to build a bridge between the police department and the community, whether it's Hmong community or Liberian community or Hispanic community, to which we have the most, was that we were able to create a New Americans Academy class with the help of one of our community liaison officer, Monique Dreyer. We will go out to the community, give out flyers, let them know that we're doing a class at a local elementary school, to which they won't feel so intimidated. We'll be sharing police ethics, policing problems, and most of all, that to let them know that the police are here to help you.
Along with my job, we also have a community liaison officer, Amy Dusek, and it's interesting to have someone that the community who works for the police department, who the community can go to and talk to, who isn't in a uniform, who isn't intimidating.
A couple months ago, we did a police teen academy, and we had high school students come to one of the schools here in Richfield, and the police came, and throughout the day we had presentations, we had a question and answer, and just seeing that, like people getting together and talk, and just that realization when it comes to their face that, wow, the police are human too.
We went to their place and not inviting them to a place where probably the police or our group would be comfortable. We went to where they take their children to school. And so they saw that as a respect to the community, in that the police was reaching out to them and even coming to a place that is comfortable with them. So that has gained a lot of trust with the Somalis.
Developing and mentoring a cadet to become a police officer to represent your department to that community, it's all about trust. But again, that trust goes both ways.
The trust starts with the relationship. Do we like each other? Do I like this person, this officer? Does he respect me? Does he value my culture?
I went on the internet and looked up information regarding different Muslim holidays, and I was able to, when I had a traffic stop the other evening with a carload of younger Muslim males, I was able to talk to them about Hajj, which was their most recent holiday. That made them a little bit more open to me to talk to me regarding the reason why I had stopped them.
For every minute that your police officer is sitting in a non-confrontational, non-enforcement position with someone that they're serving in the community, A relationship is being built. Credit between the two is being built. Good faith is being developed. If you're a police officer and you go into a home and you're respectful and they believe that, you're going to get through that call safely. That's absolutely important. So the biggest tool in our toolbox is teaching respect, and to do that you need to understand what the cultural expectations are of the people you're serving.
If we don't build that trust, then when they become victims of a crime, they will not step forward. If they become a witness of a crime, they will not step forward. And we've seen that in the past happen time and time with communities that don't have a trusting relationship with the police. We cannot let that happen. And we need to keep this program moving forward. And we've demonstrated the success of this program, not only at the state level, the county level, but more importantly, at the city level.
The police are probably the greatest spokespeople for the city in terms of they're the ones who are out there, they're the ones on the streets, they're the ones who are advocating for the people in the most direct route. Politicians and city workers and such are kind of behind the scenes. You don't necessarily see them in the same way. They're a bit removed. Police are right there. They're in your community. You know, they're on the street with you. They're helping you in very tangible ways.
As a detective for the Richfield Police Department, I guess I've seen both ends of this. And having seen that, I think that an investment in the JCCP program is a short-term expense that's going to have long-term returns on that investment for the length of the careers of everybody who's touched by this, both the cadet hires and officers that receive that training.
The Joint Community Police Partnership is an opportunity not only for other communities in our local area, but throughout America to adapt and use a model that is effective. When all is said and done, the Joint Community Police Partnership is an effective methodology to deal with immigration and our dominant culture. This is a problem that we have today and we will have tomorrow. It's not going to go away. It is here with us. We get a chance, an opportunity to do something proactive and effective. But it will take resources, it will take commitment, and it takes support. We see this as a long-range opportunity to address a very critical issue in our country, and we are confident that the program will work if we're able to work it.